Good day, everybody. Here we have a nice topic which we would like to discuss: sound and acoustics, and then a practical approach towards it. Now, sound and acoustics. A lot has been said about it. We'll dive into it. We'll talk about some specific elements of it. And I think one of the practical approaches we would like to talk about is what can we do about it. Now, let's first look at some data. A big segment, restaurants, where a lot of people come, where people pay money to have a nice evening out with friends or family. What do we see? There's a lot of data about it, and there's a lot of surveys which have been done. And we see, for example, here in 2018, Zagat survey, basically they say that the noise is the biggest complaint of people that go to restaurants. Right? And a simple poll on LinkedIn we can see as well: would you come back to a restaurant when you had difficulties understanding the person where you were with because of the bad acoustics? Now, it makes clear that a high percentage, in this case around 77%, won't be coming back. Other studies have shown around 50 or higher percentages that people will not go back there. So I think it really shows that it's a big issue in restaurants and that acoustics plays an important role. What is the reason behind that? One of the reasons, of course, are all these hard surfaces. These hard surfaces reflect. Take here a simple diner where you have many different types and styles and so on, but you can see in a glance that a lot of hard finishes are being used. A hard floor, which is easy to clean, hard walls, gypsum board, sometimes metal for the AC, ducting and all these kind of things, metals, hard ceilings, furniture, which can be the tables and all these kind of things could be hard. So all these things reflect, and that's what we see back. It's not only for restaurants, but also in offices. We should ask ourselves the question. We spend a lot of time in offices, so what's happening there? Now, there's a lot of studies being done, some interesting ones. The NPO in the Netherlands has done a nice study on it, what the effect is of sound, or better yet, negative acoustics, so to say, in the office place. When you have time, do click on the link and have a look at it. It's only in Dutch, unfortunately, but it really shows what the impact is and how negative things can be on the employees that have to work there. A small poll on LinkedIn also shows that just normal people who are working in offices see it, notice it, and agree with the fact that it is a problem. Now, also in offices, it's more or less the same. We see a lot of hard surfaces, especially with the open plan offices, which there's a lot of open space, so sound can really carry through the whole area. What we see, ceilings are often from concrete, so hard, reflective. Drywall partitions and walls which don't absorb. Glass partitions or windows, so a lot of hard surfaces which reflect. The solution, of course, is probably, what we need to do is that it affects us in such a way that we're not getting well from it. Our concentration is going backwards. We're not able to perform. We won't enjoy a restaurant. So this is probably not the right way. So what do we need to do? Now, absorption is needed, right? Because nowadays, now in these situations which we showed, a lot of things happen because the sound reflects, and you get a sort of an echo approach, which is not really comfortable being in. So these sound waves need to be absorbed and not reflected. So we need to introduce absorption in these areas in order to correct it, so it becomes a more peaceful, more comfortable area to be in. But the question, of course, is how much absorption, what kind of absorption, is it needed in every room, yes or no, where can and should I use it? It is sometimes really complex. Let's see what we can do with that. I think the most important thing is that you need to first calculate or measure the TR60 in a specific room or area based on the dimensions and the different materials used. You can then calculate that, and based on that you can then see where you would like to be. Maybe it's already fine, then no action is needed, but if it's at the level which normally for those areas you shouldn't want to be, you need to do something, try to correct it. And often the case is to add absorption on different areas depending on the design, on walls or ceiling or different kind of areas which are possible. Now let's look at an example. Let's say you have a small restaurant. In this case, the RT which we have calculated was around, in this case, around 2.3 seconds, so that's really high. For those who know, based on the use of the room, it would be better, much better, if the RT was around 0.6 seconds. Now, let's see what happens if you have a room where the reverberation time is controlled and where it's not really controlled. Let's see how that sounds.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Let's do that again.
Hello? 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 Hello?
I think quite clearly we can see, better yet hear, the differences between these two rooms, right? And the effect of applying, in this case, to the ceiling, because that was the only option which was possible, an absorbing material, and in this case our BoSpray, the acoustical spray plaster, was applied. And that makes a huge difference and impact on the reverberation time and also on the total feeling of this room. Now, what does it mean when we apply that specific product, or whatever product it would be? It's very important to know what kind of absorption this product will bring. Now, often it is measured by what is known as the NRC, noise reduction coefficient. Our product here has different NRCs measured with different layer thicknesses, so you can play around depending what is needed for a specific area. And by introducing it, you can then control the reverberation time in that specific situation. Now, we have different options. The BoSpray in the specific example we use, but we also have a product which is a smooth acoustic plaster, which is called Acoustic. So do get in contact with us if you have more questions. We are located here on the map in different areas, in different parts of the world. Acoustics is important, and we strive to be able to provide solutions that are practical and really work. Thank you very much.